Hello and welcome to MINYIP. I am your host, Blake, and I am joined, like always, by Clinton. How are you, Clinton?
I'm going well, thank you, Blake. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's racing. I went a bit rogue last week and it backfired, so I'm hoping to maybe pick the right horses and score some more points this week.
Yeah, there's a few scratchings on Saturday morning, and once you sent me through your team, that was exactly my response. You've gone rogue, and it didn't exactly pay off for you, but hopefully you'll be able to turn it around. It's good to be free here in Melbourne. Today's our Freedom Day on Friday, so if you're watching, we're recording on Friday night, so you have the latest up-to-date odds, and make sure you follow us. Like, comment, and subscribe to the MINYIP channel so you can stay up to date with our latest shows and fantasy sports community. So hit us up on those socials. Let's quickly go through what happened last weekend. So there was only two Group 1 races. Nature Strip held on in the Everest, and Incentivise had a very impressive win at Caulfield. So they got the full points of 40. In Nature Strip, which was in 25% of teams, and Incentivise 64%. Masked Crusader scored 32, Colette 32, Nonconformist, Oxley Road also got the 32, which were slightly lesser owned. And Think It Over, which was quite expensive, Group 3 race, won its race and scored the 24 points in 4% of teams. So how many of those did you have there, Clinton?
Only the two. I had Incentivise, which a lot of people had. I didn't captain that. And I had Think It Over, which was a bit of a risky play at that value, but I chucked that in. So I played it a bit safe really with that, because I thought it was a safe 24 points. So in our show last week, I think I had Nature Strip, but I took it out and juggled a few things. And yeah, as I said, it backfired.
Which one I'm guessing you saw both those big Group 1 races, Clinton. Which one did you think was the most impressive win out of those two? They're both great rides.
Well, clearly Incentivise. It's quite unbelievable how it just put them away with about 300 still to go. So in Nature Strip, when we go through my team, I want to talk through Nature Strip a bit more, please. And yeah, with the weather, the likes of Colette and Buffalo River were really smart picks. And yeah, as I said, I went a bit rogue, which was not the smartest thing, but I think I said it last week. Once the weather came, the likes of Colette and Buffalo River were going to be hard to beat, and they proved it.
Yeah, Nature Strip, which was my captain. So I got the 80 points there, I was pretty happy with. Overall, I scored 243 points, which was one of the higher round scores. I think I was about 600th overall for the round, so not too bad. Incentivise scored 40 for me. Colette 32. Oxley Road, which was a late addition after Enthal was scratched on Saturday morning. So Oxley Road came in, which had the wet weather form, and won that last Group 2 race of the day. Gunstock got me 24 points. Fangirl 18, and Young Werther and Home Affairs didn't perform too well in the Group 1s for me, which were my rougher picks. So Young Werther scored 8 points and Home Affairs scored 6. Home Affairs scored in count, and James Mcdonald scored me 9 points. Overall, very happy with how my team performed. I had the winners from most of the big races, just overspent in the Group 1s with Young Werther, and Home Affairs should have probably just got another Group 3 horse, which there's a few favourites that won those races. So overall, very happy. My overall ranking is 1,055. So I moved up about 900 spots, and hopefully after this week, I will move into the top 1,000 and really push the top teams going into the later round. So overall, very happy with that. So that was just a quick summary of my team, and we'll go to yours now, Clinton. Do you want to talk through what you ended up selecting and how they performed?
Yeah, I was juggling a few things with scratchings and the weather, etc. And I was tempted actually to avoid the Everest. As I said, I wanted the likes of Colette, Buffalo River, but I wanted to attack the Everest. I chose to have one runner there, and then I decided to go, just how it all panned out, I decided to go against Colette and had Nimmerly, which was pretty disappointing in the same race. I liked Edit, and that didn't quite got too far back, but ran home well. But I think 12 points. Malkovich, I believe, came second. Think it over one, as we mentioned, we got 24. And my cheapest runner, Tiz Magic, scored 10. Couple of Sunset was a very disappointing run in the end. I think got shuffled all the way back to almost last, and so I was disappointed with that. And I was struggling with which runner I wanted to choose in the Everest, and I really liked Classic Legend last week, but I decided to go with Eduardo. And just before the race started, I was actually really pleased because all the late money was for Eduardo. But if I don't want to get in the habit of criticising jockeys, but Nash on Eduardo, I think he just gifted Nature Strip the right. All credit to Nature Strip. I mean, it's not J-Mac or Nature Strip's fault, but I thought Eduardo normally races very much on pace, but for whatever reason, I felt like Nash restrained Eduardo a little bit towards the start, which then just gifted Nature Strip to just cruise across outside the leader and then just let down the sprint. I think Eduardo could have easily kept Nature Strip 3 wide, and it would have been a much different result. And Eduardo was still closing in the line, so I think he just gifted about 1 or 2 lengths to Nature Strip for no reason, I think. So that's my complaint about that race. But I was happy with. I mean, if you watch it over, I thought Eduardo could have and should have been more in the finish even. So it is what it is. We move on to this week.
Yeah, cop that, Nash. Kapalua Sunset, which was popularly owned. It was sitting back of the field, got boxed in, and then just got pushed all the way out the back, and then was last coming into the turn, so had absolutely no chance from that position. Malkovich was the favourite against Oxley Road in that final Group 2 race, but just got defeated. You scored 181 for the round, and your ranking just dipped a bit there, Clinton, so 4,632. Hopefully you'll bounce back this weekend.
I think the difference with the weekend just gone, it was very spread out. You had lots of different options, and now with this week, with the fact that we're only at Moonee Valley, we're not at Sydney, so it does limit the correct or the smart Supercoach pick. So I don't think this will be a week to make a lot of ground. So I think it's just about playing smart with the Supercoach options, and I think it'll be just like I think it was week 2. I think we'll have a lot of similar stables.
Yeah, in previous seasons, there was a Friday night fixture. So potentially in previous years, there was a Friday night, which was included in this round. But this year they've scrapped it just because I reckon just due to the sheer amount of teams that would forget to submit their team for Friday night races. So we'll go to our league now. And Trent, with the team name Malucky Day, is absolutely flying. He's ranked 14th overall. So if you're watching this show, Trent, well done, and feel free to send some tips our way because you're absolutely flying. Adam has slipped down to second now because of Trent's wonderful performance. Pablo Bill, he's back. He's up to third now. Barber's Battlers, Braden is moved into fourth, and Rob is on equal points with him in fifth. So we've got 51 people in our league, Clinton. So it's good, the Supercoach Racing format. You can have as many people as you want in the league. So I'm very happy about that, unlike some other formats which we've found out have a limited amount of people in your league. This is a very good one, and we're up to 51 people. So very happy with that, and encourage as many people as possible to get involved in our community. So well done to the top 5 there, and it's going to be very close coming to the end of the season. I'm slowly catching the top 5 there. Hopefully I'll be able to catch them soon. Tomorrow's fixtures with the races. So there's 10 races at Moonee Valley, as you've already mentioned. And there's only one Group 1 race, which is race 9. There's only 9 runners in that. There's 4 Group 2 races, 2 Group 3s, and then to finish off 3 listed or handicap races to start off the day. Just the standout races, just looking at this, the Group 1, obviously only 9 runners. Race 6 has got 8 runners, which is one of the smallest fields of the day. There's a race 4's a Group 3, and that's also got 8 runners as well. So some only 10 races to look at, as you just said just before, Clinton. There's not going to be too many differential picks this week between the different stables. So if you get those differential picks right, it could pay off for you. The group,
I think, sorry, right. I think when we say that, I mean, I think from a Supercoach point of view and looking at the odds, like there's a sort of a template you could follow. But in saying that, races are a funny caper, and you might know some stuff, and there may be some random horses that do pop up, and we may not even mention them on this thing. So it's all about there's still times when you can pick your own horses and score a lot more points. So I think that the Supercoach way of things is there is a template that's it could be throw some interesting results if the weather comes wet again like last week. So it's a bit of a tricky one because it's not sure how the track's going to change between now and tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw our brothers' teams last weekend, and they had some differential picks that if we all combined our teams together, we might have had a very, very good week. I know Gavin had daisies and Mitchell had nonconformists. So if you get those differential picks right, or if you like different horses, go for it, and it might pay off for you. The Group 1 race is the Cox Plate, running at 5:10 p.m. It's race 9 with 9 runners. Zaki is the favourite at $2.90 odds, 450k value in Supercoach. Animo is the second favourite, 275k in Supercoach and $3.90 odds. Very elegant. Surprised it's at $5, but it's the third favourite, 500k in Supercoach. It's not going to go up in value any further, but I think that's a very good chance. And the rest of the field, you've still got a lot of high values there, but they're ranging between $10 to $31 there. Even Dalasan had a good last run. So there's plenty of good horses here. Clinton, what are you liking for the Cox Plate?
Well, from a Supercoach point of view, it's all about how many runners you have in this Group 1 and chase the big points. Personally, I'm chucking in the top 3. And I think there'll be a lot of late money for Animo. It's obviously really lightweight, in really good form, and it's going to be interesting how Craig Williams negates and where he sort of positions Animo. But Zaki obviously was disappointing last start. I think J Mac will ride him a bit differently and potentially won't allow it to be like a sit and sprint. So I think whether it be in front or just off the leaders, I think about halfway mark you'll see Zaki ramping it up and making it more of a true staying contest. And I think it's going to be hard to beat. So Zaki's the one that I'm going to captain. Very elegant. There's some people I'm seeing or hearing that may not have all 3, and very elegant would probably be the one that they bypass. But I believe it's the type of horse that you never know if it's on its back on its game. I think very elegant could very well win. So I'm playing a bit safe and having all 3.
Yeah, so am I. They're all very capable horses, even Probable after its last run. The one that's currently not on your screen there, the 9th favourite is Call Sign Mav, who's at $51 odds. He got left off the bottom of the slide that's on your screen at the moment. So interesting race. Good luck if you go outside of those top favourites. But sticking to the template to try and maximize the points. We've both got the top 3 favourites there for the only Group 1 race of the day. The first Group 2 race of the day is race 5. So all the Group 2 races are race 5, 6, 7, and 8. Heresi is the favourite, 175k in Supercoach and $3.20 odds. Fortunate Kiss, second favourite, $4.40 and 100k. In race 6, Elephant's the favourite against Buffalo River. So 200k value for Elephant, and Buffalo River's 325k. The quite evenly matched there as the 2 top favourites. What are you liking in these 2 races, Clinton?
Well, in the Phillies Classic, the 2 favourites there, they both were really unlucky runners in their last starts. I'm not sure how you pronounce it properly, but
Yeah.
Heresy almost fell around the bend and then also got smashed down the straight. So that was just an absolute forgive run last start. And Fortunate Kiss came from a long way back and then ran into trouble as well. So I think they're both, got a great chance. And that's the type of race I'm probably going to have both of them in my stable. And in the Crystal Mile, there's not many runners as you can see, and depending on the weather and what the track does, Buffalo River, if it stays pretty much like a good four type of track, they may even scratch Buffalo River. So I think Elephants, a must in your stable, and it's whether or not if the rain comes, Buffalo River, potentially might give it a run, but otherwise, Elephants a must.
Yeah, there is a bit of rain predicted, but the track's currently a good four, so we'll see what happens there. And look out for any scratchings tomorrow morning as well. That could have caught a few people out last week. Lockout is at 12:15 p.m. with the first race kicking off there, so make sure you check your stables before that.
Just quickly on that race, Blake, it's quite funny. In the top 5 favourites, you've got an elephant, buffalo, and rhinoceros. So I think it's very interesting naming of horses there.
Yeah, that's a good pickup, Clinton. Well done for that one. The Drummond Golf Vase race is race 7 with 15 runners, so a big field there, probably the biggest of the day. And Forget You is a $1.80 favourite. The shortest favourite of the whole day. Sorry, it's Forgot You. Forgot You is the $1.80 favourite, the shortest favourite of the day, 125k value in Supercoach. So great value for your Supercoach stable, but a big field. So it'll be very interesting to see how many stables lock that horse in. Blackcomb is the second favourite, 125k value as well, but big field there. So it'll be very interesting to see if you back those in. And the Moonee Valley Gold Cup is the race 8 with 13 runners. Pondus is the favourite, $3.10 odds, 325k value in Supercoach, with Floating Artist being the second favourite. It's got good value there of 200k and $3.40 odds. What are you liking for race 7, Clinton?
Forgot You, I think it's a must in everyone's stables. I think it's going to be extremely hard to beat. And then in that race, there's so many horses around a similar value. And in all honesty, I didn't deep dive too much into the others because with all the other races and the horses I'm picking, I didn't want to select anything else in that race. So Forgot You is a must. And then in the Gold Cup, I find it really hard to split these 3 favourites. Pondus will be second up in Australia and led last start and faded a bit late, but I think we'll be fitter for this run. Floating Artist was a bit disappointing last start, but I think the type of horse that really like this race. And Harpo Marx is coming down from Sydney, and it's a good horse also. So in this race itself, I think this is the big decision for my stable. I'm only going to have one of these 3, and I'm really torn as to which one I'll have, and I can afford any of the 3. So I may play it safe with. I could pay up at Pondus, or I still think maybe Floating Artist is the horse that I want. So that's the one that's currently in my stable.
Very good. We'll quickly go through the Group 3 races and the handicap/listed races, just because there's not many horses from these races that I'll be personally selecting. Dosh is at 200k value and $3.10 odds as a favourite in race 4. Race 10, Anavisto, 200k value in Supercoach and $4.40 odds. Will you be interested in the Group 3 races, Clinton?
I'm definitely not interested in race 10. I think that's a very, very much a wide open race. So I think if you pick something in there, good luck to you. In race 4, there's only 8 runners, and I was very tempted initially to even have 2 runners in this race in Dosh and Generation. But looking more into it, it's quite an even race, and even as not even on screen there, I actually like Ephelric. It's paying $11, and David Oliver's on board. I've watched the replays of its last couple of races, and I really like that horse's chances. So that'd be, if I was betting on the race, that'd be the horse I'd back. And that's so in terms of Supercoach, it's too much of a risk to go with anything. So anything could win that race. So that's why I'm avoiding that race also.
Yep, and the handicap listed races for the races 1, 2, and 3, you have Equivocal. Yep, thank you very much. That is the $4 favourite in race 1. Big field there, 14 runners, 100k value in Supercoach. I'll be avoiding all of these horses personally, but race 2, Starry Legend, 175k value in Supercoach in race 2 with 9 runners. Race 3, you got nine runners again, and a horse that I do like is a New York Baby with Damien Oliver on board, but I will not be selecting anyone from these races just because of the Supercoach value. But last weekend, if you managed to find value in these races, any points were handy, but this weekend with only 10 races, you're probably better to stick to the Group 1, Group 2 and Group 3 races if you get down to that far.
Just like normal, Blake, if there's late scratchings, that could change things. Like, I don't think I'll be heading towards the listed or handicap races, but even the Group 3s, if there's some late scratchings, that may change. There may be a couple that come out, and there may be something that pop up which may be really appealing, but at this stage, no.
Yep, so an interesting one to this weekend. In the first 3 rounds, we've just been locking in JMac, and it's been paying off for us quite well. But this weekend, it's split amongst the big jockeys. So James Mcdonald's got 6 rides, and he's got 5 top 3 favourites. So good spread there. He's riding Zaki. Which is his only favourite for the day. So that's interesting. Jai McNeil's got 6 rides and 4 top 3 favourites. Damien Lane's got 6 rides, 3 top 3 favourites. Damien Oliver has got 8 rides, 4 top 3 favourites, and 2 favourites for the whole day. Daniel Moore has got the most rides for the day. He's got 9. So he's another interesting one that potentially is a bit of a roughy option. He's got Forgot You again as the favourite. So some interesting jockey selections here, Clinton. I reckon we'll discuss your jockey once we get up to discussing your team reveal for the week.
Sure.
So we'll discuss it then. But I will be locking in Damien Oliver. I was tossing up between Damien Oliver and Jai McNeil, but just went with Damien Oliver because he does have the 8 rides for the day. So my stable for this weekend, I've gone with Very Elegant, Zaki, Pondus, Animo, Elephant, Heresi, Forgot You, and Black Comb, who I think I'll change at being the second favourite in that race at $8.50. But Zaki's going to be my favourite as the favourite for the Group 1 race. So that'll be my captain. Like you, I've locked in the top 3 favourites from the Group 1 race. I've gone the favourites from all the Group 2 races. So Pondus, Elephant, Heresi, and Forgot You. And Blackcomb is the second favourite in the Forgot You race. So that is my stable for this weekend. I've got 25k still left in the bank, but I don't think I want to apply it anywhere else. I've got the favourites for the big races, and pretty happy to go with that. I've sort of structured my team like this the last 2 weeks, just lock in the favourites for the big races, and it's paid off well for me for the last 2 rounds. So I'm going to continue using that structure into round 4.
Well done, Blake. Well done. Just talking about the captaincy, I think that's where it's really important. And obviously, you nailed that last week with Nature Strip. This week, that'll almost be the most pivotal thing, who people captain. And obviously, in the Cox Plate, if you have 2 of the 3 favourites, all depends on whether it's Zaki and if it failed last start like it did, and Animo wins, and a lot of people captain that. That's where the big difference will be. So the captaincy is really important. So with my team, it's very similar to yours. I've also liked Zaki. I've put the captaincy on that. I've also got Very Elegant and Animo in the Cox Plate. Then I have Floating Artist, Elephant, Heresy, Forgot You, and Fortunate Kiss. With the jockey, I was actually tossing up between J-Mac and Ollie. It's very tight, but I do like Ollie's, I think his first 5 or 6 races, I think he'll get a lot of points. And he doesn't have a ride in the Cox Plate now, but I think he'll score a lot of points early as a jockey. And as I said earlier, I've currently got Floating Artists, but I potentially could change that between that, Pondus, or even Harpo Marks. So I'm pretty set on the rest of the horses. And yeah, if the rain does come and track that gets downgraded a fair bit, there's a chance I might actually change it to Very Elegant as my captaincy, but we'll see.
Yep, so we're both pretty much going with very similar stables. So this was, as I've mentioned at the start, this is Friday night we're recording, so hopefully no late changes like we've done in the last 2 rounds. But this is us for this weekend, and that just about wraps up our show. Clinton, got anything further to add?
No, obviously, very much enjoying watching the races and Supercoach being involved with it all. If you enjoy this show, obviously check us out on patreon.com, and it's a way of supporting us for doing this. And Blake is working hard at the moment, and he's always tired at night time as we're recording. He puts a lot of hours into all this. So if you are happy to support us in any way, look at patreon.com. And yeah, it was quite funny. I set this team up this morning. I was very happy with it, and then all of a sudden this afternoon, I'm starting to see a few teams on Twitter, and I even saw, I think it was Al Payton from the Herald Sun posted his team. It was exactly my team, but he had Very Elegant as captaincy. So I thought I was sort of onto a solid stable with maybe a couple of different, but all of a sudden there's teams out there that are very similar. So as I said, it's going to be one of those weekends, but potentially next week on Derby Day and then Cup Day, it's going to be a bit different. So looking forward to it all.
Yeah, and just with the Patreon, if you do happen to go on there, and if you have any suggestions as to different areas that you want access to, feel free to send us a message on Twitter or Instagram, and we'll get back to you there. And we might be able to add a few features of content that you're looking for your fantasy sports team. So check that out and let us know if you've got any questions. So thanks for joining me for our Supercoach Racing Round 4 preview show, Clinton. Hope you have a good weekend and enjoy the races, and your Supercoach stable goes well for you. So good luck and have a good weekend.
Good stuff, Blake.
Thanks, mate. We'll see you soon.